Hey everyone, Ryan here. So it's been a lot longer than I intended since I've been in the hives last. I think it's been over a month now since I was into them. The last project that I had done was combining the one nuke hive with the queen with the one that didn't have a queen. What I did is I put the original 4 frames out of the hive with the queen on it. In these positions, I put 2 blank frames, and then the 3 frames that I'm going to keep out of the hive that didn't have a queen, and then I took and threw another frame into the box there to gather up those bees on it. So this is that hive. Let's open up, see what's going on. Okay, glancing down in there, we've got about 4 or 5 frames with bees on them. So not real strong, but that doesn't surprise me. Pop out some of these from this side. So I'll probably end up having to reorder them, because as you can see, this one doesn't have anything drawn out on it. That might be confining them to the area that they're in and not letting them expand as much as they should be. So I might slide that all the way over to the far edge. Okay, let's check the rest of this out. So, decent sized brood area. Even out onto that frame. Yeah, that's what makes me think that that empty frame might have been holding them back from expanding. That one is filled right full. Really nice. That's what we like to see. Yep, and there's another one. You can see the queen's been laying back as things hatch. And that one's got the queen on it. I don't know if you can pick it out. So she's looking good. Doing her job. Just going into the shade right now. So, put this back together, move some frames around, give her some more space to lay on. I'll probably slide that frame out, put another frame along that edge, and then add some more frames for her to expand into. As you can see, she had all the space up to that undrawn out frame laid right full. That's what we like to see. And when she's trying to grow and expand her hive, let's give her some room and let her take and get going. Okay, so I took the frame that wasn't drawn out, I put that on this far end. These were the 4 that had brood in them. I slid the one over, put a blank one in there to give her some space there, and left the other 4 off on the side there. She'll take and, I'm sure, expand that way now once she's not got that kind of a roadblock there, that undrawn frame in the way. But let me close this up, get into the next one. Let's start with this one. I'll pop the top on that, check how full the honey supers are. If anything is capped, I want to try to get it out of here today. Ooh, Well, by the lack of bees up here, that can be a good sign. You don't find many bees on capped comb. It does look like the first ones are at least capped, and these end ones aren't. So let's pop that off. Well, that didn't break apart quite where I wanted it to. So this is the bottom of the second one. As you can see, they haven't drawn out hardly anything there. Nothing in it, with that top one not even being full. Doesn't surprise me. Some of that started and drawn out. Yeah, I guess from this side you can see some in there. Okay. Well, let's go through this, find out what's capped honey and ready to be harvested. Well, it's about a quarter capped. Not as much as I'd like to see. Guess they're doing better than they were when I looked at them in July. At that point, they had only had a couple frames even started. And that one's probably, well, not that side. Well, it doesn't look like anything is capped off, ready to be harvested. They got a lot of it real close. Well, once I got the supers off, I'm going to pop some of the frames on the top of this and see if they've gotten any honey reserves built up in this top box. So that's what I like to see. This frame is capped right full. That's the reserve they need to get through winter. So this one's definitely working on that. Yep, that one's looking good too. Over half that frame is capped honey. So I don't have to worry as much about leaving that or getting the honey supers off so that they'll work on building up their reserves in their box, which is what I was kind of concerned about. So that's the bottom of the top box. Nothing too notable there. This is the top of the middle box. That's looking good as well. And it appears that there's some honey again on the outer frames. Looks like the outer two are looking pretty good. Split these two here. Nope, it just wants to lift off the top, or off the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna need two hands. So without looking right, or digging apart and looking for the queen itself, I've got plenty of bees in the box here. I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. I might pull a couple frames out of that middle one, make sure that there's cap brood, but I don't have any doubt that we're looking all right. I got some young bees here in this bottom box. So it's a little bit of a shotgun pattern. You can see how it's been laid at different times, but everything's filled. And that can happen for a multitude of reasons. One of the reasons can be you have a poor laying queen, but the other can be if you've got a lot of resources coming in, the workers will put it in different cells, and then once it gets moved out of those cells, then the queen ends up laying in them, so you end up with different age brood and different cells. For now, I'm going to put this back together. So there it is, back together. One change I did make is I reversed the order of the supers. Hopefully that'll encourage them to get that second one capped, and they can put any extra up in the top one. So this is the other 3 deep, 2 super that's been on the trailer. Okay, again, not a lot of bees up here, and the supers aren't looking like they're all capped. So popping that off, yeah, it's maybe a quarter full of honey. Not quite full, but I did notice this one has got frames that appear to be capped. Bottom box on this one definitely looks better. Let's pop that off. Well, unfortunately, that's not anywhere near full either. But I'll take and have to look through those. I don't know why, but this hive has just not performed real well. It does look like they've got capped honey down in this top box. Well, straight off, the first thing I noticed is on those 4 drones, they appear to have disappeared now, I did see 3 different varroa mites. So part of the issue might be is I've got a lot of varroa mites in this hive. So even at this level compared to that other hive that was in the trailer here, these frames are not all capped full of honey, where the other one had those all capped full of honey. So the production of this hive is just way down. So there it is, back together. So I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I do not use an upper entrance. As you can see, my cover there is flipped, so the entrance is towards the top, and I don't have a hole on the top of these covers. The reason for that is when I'm doing these inspections, I don't want any guard bees up in the top of that box. All the bee activity is down at the bottom, and that's where the guard bees end up being. So I can open this up, and without an entrance there, the number of bees that are up there are only those that are working on those top supers. And if they've got that capped out and they're not working in there, there'll be very few bees up on top. And when you got supers that are full of honey and you're struggling to lift them, breathing heavily, the last thing you want is a bunch of guard bees up there coming at you because you're breathing heavy on them. So that's my tip. That's the way I do things. I know other guys say they'll get more honey because all the bees come right up to the top entrance and they're not running up and down through the hive. There's probably something to that, but I find that for ease of doing checks, I don't want the guard bees up on top of my box. Well, onto this hive. So far the honey production this year is not looking good. I should get a super off from each of the other hives. This one should have at least 1 super ready to go, and there's a good chance there will be 2 of them ready to go. Well, that one is full. Not quite all the way capped down to the bottom. Cell's capped. Up there, that's capped, and it's heavy. So, that's the top one. On to the next one down. If I remember right, I had put that one as my empty one last time, figuring it'd be easier to lift off. And by the fact that they have that one all full and capped, all 4 of these might be. That was the second one down here. Not capped, but definitely almost full. The weight is there. Look at the frames themselves, whether I want to start pulling them, or at this point, since I've left the other ones, take and leave them for now. Which means I would suspect this one, at least from the top, is all capped up. I'll have to open this up a little farther to find out what we've got going on here. But when I was looking at the top of this bottom super, I noticed there was brood up in between the frames here. I'm guessing it's all drone brood. That's typical. There's some pollen down in the bottom portion of it, but the rest of it there is all capped, looking beautiful. Well, that's kind of what I was expecting to find. There's some drone brood at the bottom of this frame. Got it on both sides, and the other one there had it as well. Those were the 2 frames that were either side of the last one I showed you. Right in the middle of the box. So usually that's where, oh, this one's got them as well. So I took a look all the way through this bottom super, and only that outer frame there isn't capped. I haven't had a chance to look at this yet. I'm glancing down in there, I can see capped honey across the top of most of these, which is a good sign. In the wind here, you're probably getting a lot of wind noise, but that's the way it is. Just wasn't a great night, but I had to get the project done. So there's the 3 strong hives all set up. Next time in, I'll take and pull the full supers off and take and hit them with the varroa mite treatment. I do gotta get that done here as soon as I can. I'll have to watch the weather. I don't want to take and do it when the days are going to be too hot, and we've had some warmer days. So until next time, you can hit the, if you hit the like and subscribe button, that helps me out.